All right, welcome back to The Devil in Detail, the Grendel reread podcast. I am so psyched to be joined by Darko and Matt right now. So good to have you guys here with us. So let's just get it going right now. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great. I'm about to become a grandpa.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Yep. I still haven't quite wrapped my head around that whole end of things, but I will eventually. So
yeah. Once you hold that precious baby in your arms, you'll...
Well, the nice part is you get to give it back.
Exactly. Yes. How I feel as an uncle.
Yeah.
Darko, how are you doing, man?
Fine, thank you.
Good, welcome. So, yes, Matt and Darko, when was the last time you guys got to chat, see each other, or talk?
It was at a very unusual convention in Gijón, Spain, which is a small city on the Atlantic coast of Spain. And it was an event called Semana Negra, which means Noir Week in Spanish. And it's organized by a guy that is actually an expat, lives in Mexico, but he comes back every year to do this big festival there in Gijón. And it honors all sorts of noir narratives. And one year they spotlighted Grendel. And so Darko came over and they had a display. So the funny thing is, it's set up like a carnival. So like a typical carnival, there's a Ferris wheel and go-karts and food stands and stuff like that. And yet down the fairway, they have these tents and there's comic book art in them. And one of them was all Grendel, and Darko helped arrange to get a bunch of Edvin's artwork there, and I think it was 120 plus pieces total.
Wow!
So it was pretty great. Very focused on Grendel for that week. So yeah, lasted a week. We were there, and the funny thing was we didn't have much to do, did we, dude? We just
no.
we just kind of hung out the whole time.
It was all very relaxed. I mean, the Spaniards get up at noon.
Yeah.
And they like the life starts at 10 p.m. or something.
Yeah, yeah. Dinner was like 10 or 11 o'clock every night. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very unusual, but okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
All right, let's flash back.
It was a festival.
Real quick though, Eli. Let me share a funny anecdote from that week we were there. That week, thanks to Darko, is how I learned about Game of Thrones, because George R.R. Martin was one of the other guests, and I knew some of George's other work, and he knew Grendel, so we arranged to get together for breakfast. And Darko was like, "Oh man, can I come along?" And I said, "Sure." Like, So at breakfast, he starts peppering George with all these questions about A Song of Ice and Fire. And I was like, wow. I don't know this. What is this? And Darko turns to me. He's like, look, I hate fantasy novels. I hate long novels. I love these long fantasy novels.
Oh man, you were early to the get with that one.
Yeah. So when I got back, I think the first 2 or 3 were out by that point. I got them and read them, and yeah, he was right. Needless to say.
This tells you how far back.
Yeah, how far back it was. Neither of us were gray at that point, were we, my friend?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
now
I looked like Eli. But...
yeah, a little more. You had more hair, bushier.
Let's flash it back now to, I guess maybe it was the early 90s. You and Edvin, tell me about deciding to write this Grendel story and send it in. I know that Grendel was soliciting stories at that time, I think, for Grendel Tales. So tell us how this whole thing began.
Okay. Yeah, at that time, we had a war.
Right.
And the publishing, did not disappear, but it was shit. The work drained out, and I thought, I don't know, maybe I'll have to work not do comics and anything. And then by accident, but not by accident, I was reading War Child at the moment. I saw the Diana's notice about reading the unsolicited whatever submissions.
Yeah.
And that never happens. Publishers don't do that. Nobody normal opens the door. And I said that's my only chance to get, to start working in comics. And I talked to Edvin. He was for it. It took us forever to put together the proposal, and we submitted. That's pretty much it.
Was it fully completed when you submitted it as well?
No, it was a pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
There were some pages, I think, some sample pages.
There were 4 or 5 pages, and that there was a full script.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There was a full script, and there was a copy of the book we did before to show. Book of short stories in creation, but the reason was to show that we are not just nobodies, that we did work before.
Yeah.
And at the post office, they didn't let us tape that properly. We just had to. They didn't let us, secure the package. So that book, as in travel, that book traveled in the envelope and tore the envelope
Wow.
on the way to Milwaukee, and that's what, as Diana said, that's what caught her attention. What's that torn up envelope on the desk, going in the heap of the other mail? So she picked it up. So
and the return address from Zagreb.
Yeah. and then she called and said, aren't you guys in the war zone? And I said, no, it was 100 miles away. Because for me, 100 miles
seemed like a long way.
It's a lot, but in America, it's not that long.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
Close
hey,
enough.
Darko. So I'm unclear. How long had you known Edvin? How did you guys hook up? What's the source of your relationship?
At that time, what was that? That was 93, I think. 93. I knew him 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel maybe 87. 87 was the first time we met through a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a movie and television director now. He was going to school with Edvin. We got to meet, and then we started to work on a short stories for the German publisher, for the Bastei. That, Igor Corday.
Yeah, I know Igor. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Igor Corday at the time was running the agency through which creation authors were working for the German publishers.
Oh, okay.
And for a time, they accepted the scripts as well as the art. And then at that time, we did, I think, most of the stories for that book that we submitted along with the Grendel proposal.
So, and as I'm remembering, there was a deal between the two of you. One of you liked Grendel and one of you liked Star Wars. Is that right? Am I remembering that right? And the deal was, if we do Grendel first, we have to do Star Wars later? Or how did that work out?
No, I don't remember that. It was, I was reading comics and it was Grendel at that time that had an invitation. But after we finished Grendel, Diana asked, what would we like to do next?
Okay, all right.
Tarzan or Star Wars?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, I did Tarzan before for Igor Corday, a couple of years before that. But I knew that Edvin was a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, okay, that's where I'm getting at then. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huge, and that's why I picked to do Star Wars, because honestly, for me, writing is the thing. What I write is of less importance.
Right. You can find a kernel of interest in almost anything.
Yeah. I mean, I spent last 10 years writing westerns for the French, and I don't care about westerns.
Yeah.
But okay, I care about work and I care about writing, so I made it into a kind of western noir.
Yeah.
So,
So when you were writing Grendel, did you find, with your love of writing, was it easier to write because you were kind of bringing in some of the war and some of the stuff that you were experiencing back then, or did one influence the other?
The war certainly influenced me, and artwork, obviously. But believe it or not, I thought I was writing science fiction. It only when people who read it here said, "Oh, you did the story about everything that's happening," after the first 2 issues came out. I said, "Oh, okay, yeah." But I wasn't aware. My intention was to write a piece of escapist fiction set into the world created by Matt.
Grendel, yeah.
What happened is that on the level that I was not on the first level conscious, completely corresponded to what was happening to us, because in Grendel world, after the death of Grendel Khan, the world goes to shit. And the same thing happened in the Yugoslavia after the death of President Tito. So it's probably what I subconsciously responded to, but it was not my intention to, I would do a metaphor for the war, because I was just trying to do as good story as I can.
On some level, I think most creators, they just inherently incorporate the aspects of their life and their personality and their philosophy into what they're doing, and what they're experiencing. When I did the first Mage series, I knew I made the character look like me, but I thought that was it. And then when I got to the end of it, I was like, holy shit, this was my whole life at the time, So, minus the wizards and monsters and shit, but
that's the fun stuff. It's the garbage in, garbage out principle.
Yeah.
What you live, it comes out in the writing, in the art. You can't. We are just the conduits.
Now, did you find, because you've done a ton of work in Croatia and in U.S., did you find there's a difference between the two comic kind of communities and comic book fields, or when you started getting more work here doing Star Wars and Hellblazer and even Cable, did you find that working in the U.S. system was different than the Croatian or the
European
system?
There is a difference between U.S. and the European, and there is a difference in U.S. between working for Dark Horse, which was at the time a smallish company, or DC or Marvel later. I mean, Diana was probably the best editor I worked in the U.S. and among the best editors that I worked in total, because she cared about the book. Most of the editors only care about the schedules, about the, they do the due diligence on the book, but Diana really tried to make changes that were beneficial for the authorial intent, both Matt's and ours. So the only basic difference between American publishing and the Croatian publishing at the time was that the American publishing existed and the Croatian didn't.
That's a big one.
Otherwise, it's the same. When you go about around the conventions, festivals, whatever, you see that all the artists are basically the same, all the editors are basically the same, all the readers are unfortunately the same, and it's all very samey. The difference
it's homogenous.
yeah, the difference is about the amount of money or size of the things. Maybe about the machinery, like at something like DC or even Dark Horse, there is a much more structured than
yeah.
But no, it's the same world,
same beast.
Yeah.
So did you guys have much communication during the actual creation of the first story and the second story? No.
No, with Grendel Tales, I was trying to remain pretty hands off. I really wanted to kind of open it up in the same way that when I first started working with other artists on Grendel, I tried to not really nail them down too much. I worked with plot and dialogue fashion. And when I opened it up to other writers as well, it was the same thing. I really wanted to kind of step back and let it have its own freedom and let the creators have their own freedom as well. Here and there was a little... Well, truthfully, almost none. I was going to say here and there was a little editorial note from me, but yeah, I would say almost none.
There was one. I think that Matt wanted to insert the word "fuck" somewhere.
Doesn't sound like me at all.
Otherwise, I think mine contact was mostly with Diana, and Eddie's contact was mostly with Jamie Rich, who was hired as an assistant at the time and who went later to be editor at Oni. I think Oni Press or DC, maybe even later. I'm not sure.
IDW, and he's part of a new startup company. Eli, do you know the name? The name's escaping me right now. He's part of a new publishing venture here. Can't remember the name right now.
Okay, and he and Eddie clicked pretty well over music, movies, and whatever. And that's when Eddie started to be chronically late, because that was his usual habit. But as soon as he becomes a friend with an editor, he stopped being afraid.
Yeah. Familiarity breeds lateness.
and Eddie was really easy to like. I think somebody called him at one point Eddie Bear. He was like all cute and funny and everything, and it was very hard to hate him, and he was extremely talented. So people always forgave him about being late.
It helps when you're turning in really good stuff too. That buys you a lot of forgiveness. I only met Eddie once at San Diego one year, and he's just like Darko's describing there. He's one of those fellows that as soon as you started talking to him, you're like, oh, I like this guy.
Is that the only guy?
I'm the completely different. So
the yin and yang.
Is that
it's
the
funny,
only time?
You mentioned me wanting to include fuck there. Back in the early days of Vertigo, we weren't allowed to use the word fuck. And Gaiman and I used to talk about how if you had something in the script that you thought might be editorially questionable, you would throw a couple of fucks into the script, because that's what they would focus on, and not on the thing.
Nice.
Take those fucks out. Everything else is cool? Yeah, great.
Got him. Is that the only time you guys came over together to the U.S. was for that San Diego Comic-Con, or?
Were you at that one too, Darko?
Not that year, I think, because I only met you in Spain. I think Eddie was there a couple of times. I was 1 or 2 times in San Diego, but I don't think you were there at the time.
Yeah, I haven't gone in years. It's just
I'm not
too overwhelming. Yeah,
I'm not very good with years, so I don't know what year that was. Somewhere before 2000, probably.
Gotcha. Yeah, San Diego.
Yeah,
is
it obviously
unruly now.
2000 because Eddie died in '99. So
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and of course that was such a just god awful shock and tragedy. Happened so fast too. You know, that's. Ugh.
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, so in your writing, Darko, you write about the comics industry as well as writing about comics, writing comics themselves. So how has that been different, and what kind of stuff do you like to focus on when you're writing like about the industry versus?
Okay, let me hop in real quick. I don't know this, Darko. What are you writing that? What's he referring to there?
I'm not completely sure what Eli refers to.
Oh, my
But,
research, but
I did wrote a bunch of reviews or articles on or whatever. Although, um,
oh, what about Q Strip magazine? That's I think what
okay,
yeah.
magazine. That was magazine. That was as I said the magazines are my favorite type of comics. Even I like comic books, I like albums, I like graphic novels, I like webtoons, I like manga, I like everything. I like magazines the most because you never know what's on the next page.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time when I got sick of the reception at the American market, although it was good, it was just not as great as I thought it would be. I gave up and said I'm going to spend my money publishing a magazine, and I did spend my money.
All of it.
And it was a fine magazine. It just didn't bring in any money
Yeah.
and then I went back to writing comics. At the time, I did write a number of short features for the magazine, whatever. I was writing stuff on the internet. That's one of my problems. I can't concentrate on one thing. I have to do 15 things at once.
I get that.
What Darko? What's your most recent stuff? Is it that Western work you were mentioning there?
Yeah, for the 10 years, Igor and I did Marshall Bass Western series about based on the. I can't say based on the life, based on the fact that there was a black Marshall in the U.S. I changed the names, everything, whatever, but we did 12 books of that over 10 years or 9 years. I don't remember.
When you say books, you mean albums?
Albums, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll have to look those up. I had no idea.
There was a word that there would be a U.S. edition compiled from a Blaze, but I think that fell through.
Oh.
I don't think the book is coming out. I think it was canceled. The pre-orders at Amazon, whatever. Okay, and we have another book coming up. It's Frankenwood. It's about Hollywood and raising up of the dead, and the usual stuff.
It looked really cool. It had like a really pulpy kind of cover when I looked it up.
Yeah.
Is it that type of feel? Kind of like
no. It's a more like it's a more like black comedy.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I usually write. I think everything I wrote was Russians have a term for their literature, which is not black comedy; it's white tragedy. It was like everything that happens is bad, but we're having fun in the process.
Yeah, we get a laugh out of it. Yeah.
And that's, I think everything I ever wrote goes in that category.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, people die and do terrible things to each other, and I can't help to see the funny side to it.
In the midst of all that, yeah. Yeah.
Did that lead then to your idiot strips, which are like you write and draw?
That's that's the autobiography, as you can see from the title, which I lifted from Dostoevsky. But okay.
And those are available on Amazon. People can grab those.
Yeah, the sales are brisk. I think soon will reach 2 digits.
Oh man. Well, if we can help, hopefully.
Yeah.
And you also have a Kickstarter going on right now for original graphic novel.
Yeah, no, not me as such. That was Igor Kordej who adapted my prose piece, short story, Texas Kid, My Brother, into a 200-page graphic novel. It's a couple of days left on that Kickstarter, I think, from Goat's Flying Press or something. That's
what's the title, Darko?
Texas Kid, My Brother.
Oh.
It's about family relationship and comics.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, it looked interesting. It's like black and white, and
it's like to get back on topic. So, what's the name? Your son is named Brandon, like
Brennan. Yeah, no D.
Brennan. Okay. So it would be. It's not about that. It's about something else in comics. But it's like you have Matt and Brennan, and then Grendel comes into their life and takes place of Matt's son instead of his real son. So it's something like that.
Okay.
It's all with Western, but it's a family relationship and a comic, and Igor art on that is great. He really killed himself doing it in his spare time over the space of 18 years or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks
Igor's a terrific artist, man. He really is.
It's been published in Croatia, Spain, I don't know, a couple of European countries, in Brazil, and now they are kickstarting it in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like there's a week left on the Kickstarter, and you broke your goal by $2,154. So
cool.
Hell yeah, it's doing good. I think I'm gonna back it. It looks very interesting, and I'll put the link in the comments down there for the YouTube people.
Thank you in Igor's name.
Yeah, Eli, send me that link as soon as we get off here, because I want to go check that out, and I don't want to miss it before. I'm glad to see Darko again, and I'm glad to hear me staying busy. Of course, their contribution to Grendel Tales was always one of my faves. I think a lot of readers' faves.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Do you still hear people talk? Do people still talk to you about it to this day when you go out or do cons?
Mostly Spaniards.
Spaniards.
Mostly no, because I think from every Spanish artist I talk to, that's the book they know of. Because there is a shared mentality in Mediterranean countries, like I understand not on the necessarily on the language level, but mentality. I understand Italians and Spaniards much better than the
French and the English.
French or English or I don't know, German or whatever. I mean, much closer to me. I don't know. What I would like to ask you, like, how did you understand the story? Not on the action level, but did you have trouble with I don't know, with people's mentality, with
No. It had a deep resonance. It had a, as you said, there was a Well, the terminal white tragedy. I'm never going to forget that one now. That's it very much exemplifies what you're just talking about there, and I think the thing everybody responded to is it felt the humanity in it felt so real and so identifiable. People really picked up on the fact that the action was secondary. Truthfully, ideally that's what you want. You want, I don't know if Darko, I don't know if you heard this over there, but there was a controversy going around here recently where Todd McFarlane claimed that writing in comics is unimportant, not nearly as important as the art, and that he says he could have a comic written by his dog that would sell well if the art was good. And okay, it might sell right then. Nobody's going to remember that shit later. What you remember is character and the resonance of the themes and the humanity in the characters.
If I may, I don't think it in a bad way. When I think I read the first Grendel after War Child. So what was the first name?
Four Devils, One Hell.
No. Your first original. Devil by the Deed, or
Devil by the Deed.
Okay.
You read the first one after you read War Child. I get what you mean.
Yes. Yeah. Only in chronology, because the books are not readily available here. No Amazon, no something. So I read the first book, and I was flabbergasted how little there is in it.
Yeah.
The book was only
37 pages.
The matrix for the reader's imagination. The events are just sketched, and they let the readers into the net in the way that everybody was caught in the mystery, mystique, whatever what you have in it, and there is no real story. It was like dream, dream of a story. Like later stories are much more of a stories. My story to yours is, I think, that Harvey Kurtzman inspired about the guy who stands. I'm sorry, I don't remember the title. Yeah. And Grendel doesn't really feature in it or something. And I like Diana's story too. And so it was. I don't know. It seemed to me at the time there was much more. Well, I was younger, but there was much more interesting books to read. At the time, European comics seemed to me like rote, boring, samey. And you go to American comics, and after Watchmen, Dark Knight, Howard Chaykin, I mean, those are three greats that got me into American comics. But you go there and you find stuff like Hernandez Brothers and Stan Sakai, Donabar, Rigiri, Matt. Every month something interesting was coming out. So
it was that was a ripe time in American comics for sure.
And of course, as it happens to me, that's the pattern of my so-called career. When I got into Yugoslav comics, they fall apart because of war. Then I got into American comics, and there was that bubble exploded, speculative bubble, and it fell apart. Then I went to France, and it fell apart. My plan is to destroy manga market next.
I was going to say, is it you? Are you bringing the bad luck with you?
I don't know. It seems that everything I come bottom falls off of everything I attach. But okay.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear about all those influences. Also, some of my favorites, like Matt, were you getting into comics the same way in the 90s, or because you were like writing and stuff so much, you were like kind of just?
I had been into comics my whole life. But I moved. I went to art school in Philadelphia, and for the first time, I was in kind of a big city, and I had better access to comics and comic book shops. I grew up kind of out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. And my access was limited. But then if you can go to a comic shop every week and see what's new, that makes a huge difference. So, yeah, I was consuming a lot in those days, and I was part of a community where, we all shared a lot of stuff. Somebody would come in with, "Here, you got to read this," and that's, that just doubles and triples your scope.
This is kind of off topic, but what happened with or how do you feel about the Dark Horse and Mike Richardson situation? Is that changing?
Oh, it's complicated. It's hard to imagine Dark Horse without Mike. At the same time, nobody lasts forever. Nobody lives forever. Not like Mike's died, but
sure. But
I've just been in this industry so long that you see so much come and go that seemed to be rock solid elements of the industry that aren't with us at all anymore. Either due to death or moving on to some other medium or retirement. I mean, there's just a million different things. I'm, of course, as every creator owner that works with Dark Horse, we all have a certain amount of trepidation to see what comes next.
Sure.
So far, everything seems to be proceeding as per normal, but who can tell what will be a year from now, 2 years from now?
Or if you're in the market for a new independent publisher for any Vince Grendel, I know a guy.
Put in a little plug for Cosmic Lion there.
Absolutely. Darko, are you reading comics these days as well? Is there anything new that you would want to recommend people other than, of course, your own work?
Probably comics. No, I know what comics are. I was just it's always hard to remember. What's the last thing I read?
Oh, sure.
I think I liked Beyond My Expectations, which was zero. I like the Ice Cream Man.
Oh, interesting.
That was interesting. What
I had somebody else recommend that to me. I gotta check that out. Yeah,
it's not. I don't know. It's weird, but that's what I like about it. It's not predictable, and also it depends in the right amount on the words and on the pictures. I think what troubles me. It's not a big trouble. In the comics in the past 20 years or something, is that prevalence of first of putting awful lot of copy of first person narration through everything, and also writing for television, like lots of dialogues. You had, I think at the beginning of that trend, you had Brian Michael Bendis, but he was good. That was actually interesting, and as per usual, people take only the form and not the content. So the people said, okay, 15 balloons per panel, that's the way to do it. It's not. So every time I pick up a comic and it has more words than pictures, I just drop it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are good comics. I just don't remember. If you ask me about comics, I will tell you what I think about it, but I'm not sure. I read interesting manga. I did that. I read what's Tokyo These Days from the guy who did Black and White. It was his original manga. That was about the old editor of manga.
Mm.
You can see why I would like it. And that was very good all the way through. It was only 3 books or everything or whatever. I read comics all the time. I keep reading old comics mostly, like old newspaper strips, old French comics. I read good new Italian comics like Paolo Bacciglieri's work. I think I just love his work. He's a combination of Dick Tracy and Crump.
What's the creator's name?
Paolo Bacciglieri.
Okay.
He did work both for Bonelli or independent stories, but I just like the way his pages feel.
Okay.
He has the book in English. I think it's called Fun. It's about a crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
About crossword puzzles, and it's weird book, and I like his weird. I like comic books which I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What they're going to do. Like I can't remember the name now. No, okay. No,
Here, I'll jump in with a couple recommendations. So something I just read that I really loved is the series called Friday. It's by Ed Brubaker and Marcus Martin, and it was published by Image. Teenage female protagonist who is the gal Friday, even though her name is really Friday, to an Encyclopedia Brown type of teen detective. So she's the main character, but he's kind of the main character of their adventures. And she's grown up and gone to college, and she's just come back to their small hometown for the first time in years. And hijinks ensue. And it was just terrific. Really incredible art by Marcos Martin. And, a very engaging story.
Okay, I remember when nice. Spectators from Brian Vaughan and Nico Henrichon, I think, if it's French, it was far future pornography, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. And that's called Spectators?
Spectators. It was serialized on Substack, and it was out as I think, hardcover from Image, probably. I don't know.
Nice. Brian K. Vaughan.
Oh, this is Brian K. Vaughan?
Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah,
yes.
Nico Henrichon. Yeah, okay.
Nice.
It's funny, too. It's funny you mention that because Brian K. Vaughan's one that I often found... there's stuff of his I really liked, but initially when he started out, I found he was writing like a television writer quite a bit in an episodic fashion that felt like television episodes, you know. Now that said, I really loved the project he did with Marcos Martin, same guy that did Fridays.
Yes, yes.
The Private Eye. The Private Eye was terrific.
That was very good, yes. Brian Vaughan has a terrific sense of cliffhangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's really good at pulling you through.
Yep.
The story. And like Spectators is a 300-page story of dialogue where 2 ghosts float through the future and you still read it. It's very well done.
Oh, nice.
And it's something where you don't know where it's going, which is what I
always
like.
A good thing. Yeah.
The most these days.
So you were saying you have reread some of the original Grendel. Did you, in your rereads, go and read all of the Grendel tales and everything, or is there still stuff left of Grendel that you haven't read?
Me?
Yeah, Dark. Yeah.
Okay. I think I haven't read. What comes after Pender Brothers?
The Devil Inside, Bernie Miro.
Yeah, I don't think I've read that or something. I think I have a lacuna between your Cardsman stuff and War Child.
You were mentioning Spanish artists. That's probably due to the fact that Grendel's been in print from Planeta for many years, so it's very available in the Spanish market. So that probably has something to do with it.
Oh, interesting. And Italian? Is it translated in a bunch of different languages, Matt? Or
yeah,
I've seen Italian. I feel like
I don't know if it's an Italian.
I thought I saw, but maybe that was the Spanish ones.
Lot in Spanish, German,
French.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we just got a deal with an Italian publisher for our.
I got photocopies. I remember about Japanese edition of first 2 issues. 1 page I got from Jamie. I never seen the book.
I don't think it was ever done. I don't think I have copies of that.
Maybe it was in the magazine or something. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
It's like in black and white and poorly printed, and
it was like
something.
a bootleg.
We just got an offer from an Italian publisher for Dracula. For the Darko, are you aware of the? I've been doing this series of Dracula albums with Kelly Jones.
No, I haven't seen that.
We've been doing those as Kickstarters as well. We're working on the 4th one right now.
Straight adaptation or
no, everything but the adaptation. We're taking all the little things that are in the book and expanding them. So we are not doing the novel. Working around the novel.
Very awesomely, I might add. Yeah, very good. So also coming up July 25th, Matt, you just dropped it today. Devil's Crucible Sedition is coming out. The new Grendel.
Yep. Finally, it got bumped. It was supposed to be out last summer. It got bumped due to Diamond's bankruptcy and Trump's tariff bullshit, Yeah. But now finally coming out, yeah. And then there's 2 more 4-issue series in that same storyline that will follow, 1 per year after this summer. So next summer and the summer after.
That'll be amazing. Super huge. Yes, we have the, as the article said that came out today, Christine Spar has returned as a clone.
Yeah, everybody, readers are always after me to do more adventures with Christine Spar, and my answer was, I can't. We that's a very tightly choreographed story. We see every time she ever puts on the Grendel costume. There's no other adventures, because she dies at the end of it.
Yeah.
So eventually, it's far enough in the future. I brought her back as a clone. So.
I can't wait to see what happens. It's just Christine versus the mutants. All the vampire mutants. So that's going to be very, very sick. Darko, have you seen some of those the new stuff?
No, I haven't seen the new stuff because in the Brave New World it's very expensive to get comics.
I would bet. Yeah. Yep.
From the America, there are scans online, but since I work half a day on the computer, I don't like to read.
I still like print medium myself too.
Yeah, stuff on the computer for fun. If I have a choice, so I would rather read it on paper. But it's with a pamphlet costing $5 or something, it's at least another $5 for postage. So
yeah,
no go.
Double the cost. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
30 years ago, it was much cheaper. It was actually cheaper to buy the books from Amazon, including postage, than to buy them at full price at
the comic shop,
at the bookshop or something.
Damn.
And now it's like, I don't know, if you buy $40 worth of books, you pay $120 of postage.
Yeah.
Tragic.
It's insane.
So, well, there are ways to circumvent this, but it's not always worth the trouble.
Yeah. Yep. Well, man, guys, this has been amazing. Darko, thank you so much for joining us. Matt, thank you as well so much for joining us.
Good to see you again, Darko, after so many years.
Good to see you, and thank you, Eli, for the invitation.
Absolutely. And until next time, vivat Grendel, and keep on Grendelin.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, guys, so much.
Biuković. That was Friend of the Devil. The other one was China Doll, for those of you who don't know.